Hello everyone, this is Tina Burns, and I'm here just doing a short recitation on how you can install the virtual machine that contains Mininet as well as Wireshark, and it will be on an Ubuntu 20 platform. So as you'll see, my screen is already loaded with the VirtualBox software. You can download this online from their website. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and create a new virtual machine by clicking on this blue icon here. I'm going to call this Mininet slash Wireshark. And it will automatically save it to wherever their default place is. If you'll notice, there's going to be a couple modes that you can use. Make sure that if you're in this one, which looks a little bit shorter, you want to click the box on the bottom that says expert mode so you can see more details. All right, so once I have that, you want to make sure you change the type to Linux, and it should be Ubuntu 64-bit for the particular machine you're working with. Now, this is where you can set the memory size or the RAM for the device. My computer is already set at 16 gigs, so I usually set my memory size to half that. I would recommend you do the same thing, half that, or something that's going to be less than your total amount of memory. So I'm setting this at about 8 gigs here. On the bottom, you'll see the part that is the important part. This is where you need to include the hard disk that the file will be coming from. So I want to say I'm going to use an existing virtual hard disk file. Now, as I stated before, this file has already been uploaded on Sakai, and I've downloaded it to my computer already. So I'm going to click on this little file icon here, press add to locate where that actual file is. So for me, I have it here under project 2, and you're going to see it as this Ubuntu name here. So this is the file that I'm working with. All right, once I have that selected, I'm just going to click open. And once I open it, then it's going to add it to the bottom of this list here, but it's not attached yet. So we have to make sure that it's selected and highlighted in blue. And then we're going to choose that actual device, and you'll see it change here. So once it changes there and you already know that it's there, I'm going to hit create so that I can create that actual virtual machine. Once I do that, this is highlighted. I'm going to click on start so that you can start up the machine. Now it will take a few minutes for it to start up. Yeah, I don't care about that. So as it's starting up, this is kind of an easy way to do it if you want to just start it from the virtual machine we've already given you. But you can also do a blank Linux, use a blank Linux image and start from there and then install Wireshark yourself. I prefer to have this Linux terminal and a fresh machine anyway, because I want to be able to run the terminal applications as well as Wireshark. So if you'll notice here, this guy is already loaded on here. Let's see if I can get this. All right, so I'm going to make this larger so it expands to the size of my screen. All right, so just as a note, what I'm going to do is I'm going to log out and log back in just so I can tell you guys what the password is. So you'll notice is that when it actually, when you log out, you're going to need a password for this. So the password, just so you remember, the password is going to be Mininet. So Mininet 2021. Right, so just remember that. It'll also be in your notes, but this is going to be your username login, and here's your password here, Mininet 2021. And you're going to need that same thing if you need special permissions to get into Mininet or into Wireshark. So we're just going to give a couple minutes for this guy to log in, and as you'll see, it's going to take you to this this default screen here. And if I open up this terminal down here, it's going to have basically all the applications that you'll need for this class, right? If I go to Mininet, right? So sudo mn, it will open up that Mininet for me. And as I stated before, you're going to need the password. Just remember that that's Mininet, all lowercase, 2021. Once I put that in, that'll go ahead and creates that. If I go to, you know, ping it, I can ping it and get the information that's needed there, etc. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and exit this. This also has Wireshark already installed. So you see when I run that, it comes up with my Wireshark window. If you do want to run Wireshark, remember that you can just select the device you're going to be using. For me, oh, I'm sorry. So when you're running Wireshark, remember that you need to start it using sudo. So that was my fault. So once you start it with that, you can choose the particular device that you're going to use, etc. And then you can get started with that device already. So that's it in terms of capturing information. If I go to a website here, of course, then you're going to see these things come up here on the Wireshark menu. All right. And that's because I started capturing there. So we know that our Wireshark works. I'm going to go ahead and stop it and close this guy out. I don't want to save that file. So we know we have our Mininet's working, Wireshark's working. In addition to that, you have your Python terminal here. If I go to Python 3, I can see that that's working. I can just go to print hello world. And this will have everything that you need for that guy. And lastly, but not least, you can also run the command that you need for ifconfig right here on the terminal. So my ifconfig information is going to show, you know, the Ethernet and everything that I'm working here. It's going to give me my MAC address for the particular device that I'm using and everything that I need in terms of doing the basic functions for the class. So that's about it. Whatever you need to log out, of course, you can, or you can just, you can always just close the machine and just save the state, which I'm going to do. I usually do that so that I don't have to wait as long when I relog into the system. So once it's saved, when you get back to your main VirtualBox screen, you'll see that it's here and you can always just click on it. And that's it.